Hi everyone, and welcome to another exciting session at TestMu Conference 2026. I'm Spursh Casey, Developer Relations Manager at TestMu AI, and I'm thrilled to be your host for this interactive Ask Me Anything session. Today, we will be discovering about AI agents, skills, careers, and growth with Rahul Shetty. Last year, at the same spot, we were asking about how AI would impact software testing, and today the conversation has evolved. AI agents are already writing code, generating tests, reviewing pull requests, and triaging bugs. AI has become part of everyday engineering workflows. The challenge isn't keeping up with new tool every day. It's knowing about which skill truly matters and how to build a career that stays relevant in an AI era. Whether you are just starting out, transitioning into automation, leading a QA team, or exploring agentic engineering, this Ask Me Anything session is designed for you. Before we get started, just a quick couple of reminders. The session is recorded, so if you miss out anything, feel free to check your emails or a YouTube channel for the recording of this session. And since this is an AMA, your participation is key. So please post your questions in the Q&A section, and we will answer the questions live. And if we are not able to answer your questions live, we will post all the answers in our community channels. So please do follow them. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome back Rahul Shetty for this TestMu Conference 2026. Rahul is a globally recognized QA instructor, international speaker, and founder of Rahul Shetty Academy. With over 15 years of experience, and he has trained more than 1 million QA professionals across close to 200 countries. Through his industry-leading courses on Selenium, Playwright, Cypress, Postman, AI testing, and more. And beyond teaching automation, Rahul has also helped an entire generation of testers to build practical skills. And now he is helping us to basically evolve into this AI era. So, hi Rahul, welcome back to TestMu 26. How are you doing?
Good, good. It's been 1 year. We are on the same stage of Ask
Yeah,
Me Anything session. Exactly 1 year after.
yeah, exactly what you. And things have changed so
Yeah.
much back
I mean,
then to now.
answers what are given and questions what you asked last year now looks outdated,
Yeah.
right? Every year the whole question patterns and the answer discussions topics it's keep changing, and we are in great phase of tech evolving with AI.
Yep. And
And
so
hi
that
guys, whoever watching this, maybe I. Hello everyone. You can post your questions here. Me and Sparsh in the process of interaction will pick some questions and we will try to answer them in next 30-40 minutes.
there are a lot many people joining in the chat saying hi to
Yeah.
you. Please post your questions in the Q&A chat. But we did ask the community for some couple of questions, and we got a lot of interesting responses back. So I will be starting with few of them, and we will be taking the question answers from the Q&A tab later on. So
Sure.
just to begin with, there was one question that stuck with me as well, because Playwright has been rising up in companies and organizations since last 1 to 2 years, and now agents are taking over. So there was a question by a user asking that, what should I learn first if I'm starting today? It should be a Playwright or should it be agents?
Okay. So any day, I would say not even now. If you ask me this question, even after 2-3 years, I would say fundamentals first. The fundamentals of testing, fundamentals of automation, followed by agents. No matter how much agents evolve with agentic, yes, we're gonna use those features definitely, but only after we know what exactly we want to do. We need to know the basics. We need to know what we want to implement. Now, if you take even with AI, it gives output, but you should have knowledge to validate that. Maybe it can give you the correct solution, but the same solution can be done in different ways. In which way you are looking for, and what is the way your organization is adapting. To understand all these, you need to have the fundamentals, and definitely. So the reason I'm not using here, Playwright is one of the technical tool in the overall ecosystem of testing, right? So I would say more on fundamentals means browser automation, It can be Selenium or Playwright. Backend API testing. So you should be a full stack functional test engineer, that you should be able to understand how to do browser automation, how to do API testing. With this strong fundamental knowledge, after this, yes, move to agents and you can do miracles with this knowledge. And I would always say this is a sequence, no matter how models evolve, even after 1-2 years. And I'm sure, see, our ultimate goal is to get a job, right? And if you want to get a job, I'm sure people will test human skills to get into the job. And even for that reason, you need to be strong in the basics. But later, yes, after you settle in the job, you definitely need AI knowledge in the current era. I would say only fundamentals will not help you to sustain going forward. But if you ask me the sequence, it's same. Get your basics right and use the agents to, get save your time, get optimized work.
Yep, completely agree. Rightfully said. We should build our basics first and then leap to AI and agents. Similarly, I have one more question. This was also by a community member. I'm moving from support into QA this year. Does manual to automation still exist, or has the end point something else entirely? And what do I do for the first 6 months for now?
Okay, so you mean to say you are moving to QA field, and what is the path you need to follow, right? So yes, until 1-2 years back, manual to automation is the mandatory pipeline that you need to understand first functional testing. You need to be in that mindset of learning testing first of all. I mean, to test that curiosity of testing the product, followed by automation knowledge, right? But now I would say this is not enough. From automation, you should also have the basics of AI. I mean, how to talk to AI, how you can create AI agents, how you can build skill files, how you can evaluate the responses, what are the MCP servers. Basic core fundamentals you should be definitely being aware. So the chain here, previously it stopped at automation. Yes, learn one automation tool you can try in the market, but now you need to also have the fundamentals of AI as a package for you to move. So if you ask me the first 6 months what should be my study, I would say if you are starting from scratch, then the Playwright, as you told in the beginning, that is the first thing, because with Playwright you can do browser automation as well as API automation. Both are possible. But the challenge here is not choosing the Playwright. Yes, everybody know they can either pick Selenium or Playwright, but the modern framework is Playwright. Great. But which programming language you are using? So that depends upon your previous experience. Like if you already have experience in Java, you can pick it. If you are coming from scratch, then I would strongly suggest JavaScript, TypeScript. So that is the first thing you need to learn. So you get the knowledge on the entire automation ecosystem, how to do browser automation and API testing, and how to build frameworks. Once you get that knowledge, then you should move to agents. So this is the first 6 months, I would say you need to focus. There are still so many things like performance, mobile, all that. But as you're asking the first 6 months, this should be your, go-to before you proceed to next.
Okay. Thanks, Rahul.
Yeah.
Now, I have one more question on this is on the lines of building your AI experience and projects. So the question says that every JD now asks for AI or agent experience. And I have done courses, side projects, but that's not an experience to the recruiter. What actually convinces an interviewer to like I have an AI or an agent experience? Is it building GitHub repos, side projects, or what should I focus on?
It's a good question. So it's easy for interviewer to identify if you have real AI hands-on experience in your previous project, because all of us are aware of how ChatGPT works, how Copilot works, how Claude works, right? Then if you go and talk in interview saying, hey, I use Claude Code, all this, yes, these are general knowledge, but there are some scenario-based questions like, how would you use third-party Claude? Because my company has a restriction that you cannot upload or you cannot have access to my code base, then what you will do, right? If you don't have answer to that, it's clear that people know that you have generic knowledge but not the actual project knowledge. You should be able to explain that we have enterprise hosted on our cloud servers where data does not get leaked out, and how and what are those enterprise. Maybe AWS and OpenAI have one integration. You need to tell how exactly this cloud infrastructure has been set up, and that's where people understand that yes, that you have a real-time experience than simply talking about. And then people might ask you token consumption, right? There is a limit of tokens. Do you use the paid model every time, and how this can is handled in your previous company? Then you should be able to explain that yes, we also use open source models, and when the task is complex, then we route it to the paid enterprise LLM hosted in our servers. There should be a story, right? That makes people to understand yes, that you have really worked. With general traditional testing, you can convince them, right? This website and tell them that this is what you did. But in LLMs, there is something called AI security, AI governance. There are some ways how projects and companies are handling, and this is still evolving. Everyone is trying. Few people I see, they are fine tuning the open source models according to their company requirements, and someone are using directly agentic platforms like TestMu AI. So there are different ways this is getting handled. So I would say that you should be at least be in a position to talk about security, data, privacy, how this is handled in your current project, to convince them that you have real experience, than simply talking about, I will just go to ChatGPT or Claude.
I think the knowledge scope is also increasing. Like people should know ins and outs of the entire project that they are working on.
Yeah, true. So especially with this now, day by day, now Cloud Code came up with a skills system. Now skills is something running very popular, and Copilot also have sub agents. So we are seeing the revolution for every quarter on how we interact with agents and how smart the agents are being evolving. So we are in era where we need to catch up very fast on the way how things are evolving.
Very true. Very true. Now there is a interesting question. I think lot many people will relate to this. Uh, this question says that we are a 40% QA org in a regulated industry, and most of our test suites are legacy and is audited. Leadership has decided that we are doing agentic this year. Where should do you actually start in a team like mine?
Okay, so you mean to say you have a legacy automation framework and you want to move to AI.
Yeah.
What is the first step companies should adopt, right? So there are two ways here. One, DIY, do it yourself. And number two, going for enterprise agentic platforms. So let's talk about DIY. So meaning you need to obviously, if you want to start using AI, agentic, whatever, you need model, right? You need to actually go and get paid subscriptions from Claude, GPT, or Gemini. It's up to you. You need to buy, you need to get infrastructure in place, because you cannot afford having that data going to their servers, right? They has to be hosted in your own infrastructures. And for that, based on the model you select, it could be billion parameters. You need to have such infrastructure set up so the data goes within your system, right? And once you select a model, and the next step, how you utilize talking to it, and there is something called token consumption. So do you want every question to go to the paid models, or can we be little intelligent here in using open source models as well? And can we build a framework for LLM? Like when you ask a question, should it directly hit paid LLM, or can it be answered with open source? And based on the complexity of the question, rerouting the LLM to reach the right model, right? So this is DIY. Like you prepare your own framework for your model, and you can integrate with RAG. Like let's say you have the legacy of your company documents, you can add top over RAG. So you prepare a model first, LLM which suits for your project, for your company, and then you, on top of it, you start being an agentic, all that. That is one way. So this involves obviously cost. This is though I am saying DIY, there is nothing open source here. You need infrastructure setup, you need to get paid models and the subscription tokens, all this is there. And the next, this is step one. I mean, I would say one way. If you don't want all that, there are enterprise platforms, and one of it, I think, TestMu also provides, agentic platform. So people don't need to worry about this cloud, tokens, models, all that, because everything equipped in this quality engineering platform. So you just take the subscription and get all the benefits by directly, with a tool ready-made available. So first we need to decide what is our way, what is our affordable cost in going track one or track two. And then based on that, you should think what we can do with AI. So it's definitely, due diligence, I would say, research on where exactly we want to use AI and the budget constraints. Everything has to be worked before they take a call, like how we can move to agentic from legacy, right? This is something first they should think. And from there, yeah, once they have the right model in place, then they can use it to excel.
Got it. Thank you, Rahul. I also have a follow-up question. So, for example, I'm working in a similar 40% QA organization, and I want to build a uh, hands-on experience on Agentic, and I want to use that experience into my own projects. So, how should I go about it? Or how should I get started? Or what are if are there any resources or courses that you recommend for people like us working in a legacy system to get started?
Yeah, as you are asking me, obviously I would suggest my courses, but yeah, I will show you the learning path. First of all, I would say uh, my courses on AI crossed 100,000 in 1 year. And trust me, these are very painful because every month things are evolving. For example, I put Selenium course and 4 years I relaxed. There is nothing changed. Selenium 3 to 4, it took me 3 years. It took 3 years for them to migrate. Now with AI, it's like daily marathon to see how things are evolving. And every month, 50-60% of course is evolving, updates or removes. So yes, so I can quickly show you on high level what, and I can see the same thing in the chat as well, that they need a learning path and how they can get started. Is there anywhere I can share my screen here?
Yeah, please. There's a button down below.
Present content or share your screen. Okay. Right. So I have given a very detailed learning paths on how you can get started. So you can come to my website, Rahul Shetty Academy, and go to learning paths. Uh, choose AI learning path. Here are 3 paths. So learning path 1, that how you can use AI tools and agentic AI to boost your QA productivity. Okay, so you will be encountering all the concepts what you need to boost your productivity and build test framework, all that. So this is using AI to make our work faster. That belongs to learning path 1. In that path, as we discussed, there are two two ways, right? 1.1 is all about DIY, do it yourself, that you bring the cloud code model, you bring the open source models, you understand how to build agents, MCP servers, custom agents building. It shows you everything what you need to get started to build AI agents. Course 1.2 is all about relying on the agentic platforms. Now we have a obviously course on TestMu AI as well. So using this tool, you can do everything what we are achieving in 1.1, but with ease, because tool have done heavy lifting. So you just start asking and getting your goals solved. In 1.1 is what you are doing things from scratch and making it work. So that is learning path 1. So we are all talking every time about using AI, but there should be somebody who should test AI, right? Testing AI is also getting boom. Like how every company, every product is now developing AI agents, AI chatbots. We should test them as well, right? That's learning path 2, like how you test AI systems, how you test AI agents, AI chatbots, RAG applications, and how do you test models. And there is a certifications from ISTQB also on AI certified tester. So all those come under uh, learning path 2. And if you want to go little advanced and be architect level, as I discussed in the previously, that you design your own LLM framework. So the LangChain is one popular framework which will help you to design your own agent with MCP integration, rerouting LLM to open source models or paid models. So this is the course which will help you to be a little advanced in developing your own agents and developing your own MCP servers than relying third-party MCP servers. So this is like more of architect essentials. So these are the 3 learning paths. So you can start in the sequence, and that way you can get mastered in the all the learning paths step by step. And this is what I provide, but I don't ask you to go and enroll. You can check the learning paths in detail from my page and use your convenient learning resource to learn. But I put out there a step-by-step documentation on how you need to get started.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rahul. I also went through the course and I really love the roadmap and the path like people can follow to make their own projects and learn every ins and outs of the the field. And I also want to, like you touched a very little upon it, and I also saw one question in the Q&A chat. I want to basically call it out. Is like talking about scopes of an tester. Like there's a question like, will SDET role shrink or just change its shape? So how do you see that in this AI era? What more scopes a tester would basically take over?
Yeah, so the way we work will change. So, and this is not, uncommon. For every 5 years, there is a revolution in the way how we work. If you see how we worked in 2010, and if you compare with 2015, we worked in waterfall model, and there are tools like QTP, VBScript, right? Then we evolved in 2016 to Selenium, open source frameworks, Java, and in 2020 we are talking Playwright. So the way we work would varies. Now with AI, it again changes how we work, but underlyingly, quality assurance engineer. Our goal is to assure quality. Either you are assuring with Playwright, you are assuring with Selenium or legacy QTP, or now with agents. So the execution differs now, but technically the overall role, will not get shrink. But the way how you interact now, you play a role of, you know, I would say more of orchestrator. That you design the skill files, you design the goals for your agents, you create a testing agents, and then you human in loop, right? If agent design tests, that does not mean that you sit. Like there is something called human in the loop in every activity what agent does. So you should correct it and make sure it's going in the right direction, and you need to validate output. And there are a lot of tasks. And now for AI agents, let's say you need to give scenarios to so that it comes with the test cases and automate. How will you design the scenarios? That's something you need to do. Or you need to give the requirements in acceptance. So you need to work back manually, and then you need to upload that report. So overall, the goal of quality assurance will still be there, but we might be doing something different than typically writing a code of dot click dot export css. That kind of things will go away, but underlyingly you are still responsible to assure quality as a quality assurance engineer. How you work will vary with AI, and it is evolving. I cannot say this is a thumb rule, like this is how you need to work with AI. Every company is trying the different ways, their strategies. The role will not shrink, but the count may be, yes, that might have an effect. Let's say previously if there are 10 SDET QA engineers, now it might confine to 6 or 7. So the role count may reduce like 20-30%, but overall work, I think the goal of the role will not change.
Yeah. And we are seeing more fields to be tested. Like as you mentioned, like we are testing AI agents, we are testing chatbots, voice caller agents, video AI agents, and seeing the response. So I think there is more to the testing field. People will upscale, and it will basically introduce more fields to be tested.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yes,
also there.
there is again other dimensions of when I said count moved from 10 to 7. Now these 3 jobs which are missed will be covered with testing AI agents, testing RAG bots. So we will evolve. So I don't see the roles will shrink, and especially there is no such SDET role. You might ask us, will tech role shrink? The same problem is with the dev, and it's more problem to them than SDETs. And it's more problem to business analysts. And I feel QA is little in safer zone compared to other tech departments.
Very true. I see also a lot many questions about certifications. Like, is AI certification relevant in this era? Should we focus more on certifications, projects? You did touch upon this. Like, you should build projects, build your basics. But are there any certifications that people should focus on?
So right now, as far as I know, ISTQB is one of the certification body which is being there from, I think, more than 1.5 decade. There are many certifications came into picture, but nothing is so popular as that. And I am really impressed when I make this course, ISTQB AI testing, and they recently modified that they released 2.0 version. The recent syllabus is more relevant to current trends, and even keep it AI aside, there is a CTFL, Certified Tester Foundation level by ISTQB, and it has very good syllabus. That certifications obviously will have edge. Now, if I am manager and if I am reviewing any resume, if I see the keyword ISTQB, I can recognize, okay, this is some certification. But if you put me any other certification, I may not know. So I don't say certifications will have an impact, but I would say, having that will not harm, but it might have edge, right? You are adding additional credentials. It will not harm you, but sometimes it might have edge compared to other profiles. And if you really are interested in it, as of now, I think ISTQB is the one to go on certifications. And there are no open source certifications officially from Playwright or Selenium or any API testing.
We at TestMu also have a free certification on AI
Yes.
Certified tester. So if you are also looking for some upskilling, getting certified, please do go. You can visit TestMu AI at /certification. You'll find a lot
Free
many.
certifications?
Yeah, completely
Oh,
free.
cool.
Coming to the next question, we did cover certifications, growth, skills, AI agents. Anything that you want to mention to the testers or engineers even joining, how they can basically see the uh, next 1 year? How should they plan their upskilling, learnings? How should they see their careers and growth uh, for the next coming years? As like AI is evolving every day to day, how to be on top of everything that AI is building? Like, they try to learn new features, new things that are being launched, or should they double down on, like, as we were talking about, from the basics and trying to build on top of it? So what is more relevant, being on top of these kind of things or trying to build a foundation from down below?
Yeah, so at the same time, there is a lot of AI noise as well, and filtering the right content is also a challenge these days. So there are so many wrappers written on just AI, and they are built showing as the tools, and even. But one thing what I liked at least from last 1 quarter is there are no new terms in AI, but models are evolving. Models are getting intelligent day by day. If you really want to get started for next 6 months to 1 year, how I should stay relevant, then as I discussed in the first question, browser automation, API testing, and having the fundamentals on the programming, these are the strong base. On top over it, you should know how to use agents, at least terminologies like AI agents, what are MCP servers, what are skill files, and what is the importance of tokens, what are the context engineering. These are the terms, and how you can use it in Copilot, Cloud Code, right? These are like fundamentals I feel one should aware. Like, if not, you will look as outdated in coming days. Yes, because these are all started, it's been 1 year. If you are not upgraded on these things in next 6 months, definitely we sound like an outdated. Because there are so many new things are coming now. As I told you in the beginning, every company, every product is building AI systems. It might be in terms of chatbots or AI applications, AI agents. Who will test it? So much of potential on AI testing is also coming into picture. Not using AI in testing, but testing AI itself. And you will see so many opportunities in coming days. and the frameworks like DeepEval, Ragas, they will be evolving more. And I think that is something, a new hot technology we would see in coming down in 6 months, 6 to 7 months, on how to test AI applications. And I feel that there is still very good learning curve here. It's not that should I really learn because AI does everything. Yes, it's your learning has to be now bumped up to more than previous, because previously you relax by learning Selenium or Playwright and that's it. But now you should know how to use AI in testing, and you should also know how to test AI. This is something in next 1 year somehow you should be upskill and be ready if you really want to make a job move, or even in your existing company. I'm sure one day you will listen that yes, we are building this AI and how to test it. That question will come to your table as a QA engineer, and you should be able to take that task.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Yep, very well said. I think that sort of sums up like how people should stay relevant, evolve, and basically learn in this ever evolving era. I think this is also the very first time we are facing so much change, like in very small span of time. So I think it has been a journey for all of us navigating. Thank you so much, Rahul, for answering. I see there are a lot many questions in the chat. We will share that with you offline, and we'll also post that on our community channels so that people like all your answers get answered by Rahul himself.
Sure, you can
And
post and tag me in LinkedIn and we can continue this discussion.
yeah, and please do feel free to follow Rahul Shetty on LinkedIn, because he posts a lot many information, shares informations on LinkedIn channels, and he will help you stay relevant in this AI era. And I will be also sharing his LinkedIn link over the chat down below. So make sure you are following him. And yeah,
And
thank you so much, everyone.
thanks for the it's good interaction, and we covered the core top questions what we need in next last 30 minutes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who joined us.
Thanks,
Keep
guys.
enjoying,
Bye.
keep enjoying TestMu conference, and we'll see you in the next session. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.